What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Fangents, and today we will be reviewing the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Wahoo!
As always, I am Aaron Lewis, your host for the show, with my co-host.
It's me, Jake Carter.
Hell yeah, man. So let's just get right into it, guys. Jake, what are your initial thoughts on this movie?
Well, I think this movie it's a fun, such a good time. As somebody who grew up playing a lot of Mario games, I think they did a really good job kind of nailing sort of the look and feel of the game in a movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
I mean, you nailed it. It's fun. It just puts a smile on your face. Like the whole time, like we actually went and saw it at like 6:30 after work one day, and I'm not even kidding, probably 50% of the audience were kids. And oh man, I haven't seen a movie with a theater that full of kids in a long time. But the movie's so fun and engaging that it was quiet the whole time. Besides like the laughter and the cheers at certain points, and so it's just a fun family movie. Period, end of story.
Yeah. If you looked up joy in the dictionary, you'd find this movie next to it.
Absolutely. It's colorful. Time. It's bright. It's fun. There's so many like callbacks to like all the games, whether it's Mario Kart, whether it's like the OG, whether it's 64, whether it's Mario World, 3D, Galaxy, like they're all in there. And it is like a lot, so many of those like Leonardo DiCaprio like kind of moments, right? You're like,
oh man, and the nostalgia just pouring out as soon as you hear like the theme song playing, and just it's so good.
I would say that's probably one of their biggest strengths in this movie is the music. Yeah. Like they take that Mario theme and then other themes throughout the other games and just crank it to 10. Like they kind of sneak it in there too. There's a lot of them where you're like, okay, oh there it is.
Yeah, they have some nice like little remixes on it.
Yeah. But one of the cons, like we'll be a little spoiler free at the beginning here. One of the cons I feel like, maybe not even con, is it's definitely meant for a younger audience. So if you come into it expecting super in-depth story and character arcs and like grittiness, I don't know why you expect that from a Mario movie, but if you're expecting that, you're not going to get it here. It's definitely meant to be more of that fun family movie that everybody can go to and everybody can enjoy. And I think they nailed it when it comes to that point.
Yeah. If you're looking for a dark and gritty Mario, go to YouTube and look up Pedro Pascal's SNL skit, which was like kind of a riff on Mario and The Last of Us. And that's what you want. But this movie is the total opposite of that.
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah. Absolutely. But I mean, it makes sense though. Like Mario is a multi-generational game. Like, oh man, I can't remember, messing up here. I don't know what the date is, what year it came out originally, the NES. But like we're talking like potential the 80s, like grandparents like were kids when this came out, and then like the parents, and then now like they're taking their grandkids, and so you have like, it's a movie that's supposed to be meant for everybody.
Yeah.
That being said, before we get into like too much spoilers and stuff, I want to actually sneak in here. Critics, why are you hating on Mario so much?
Yeah. Stop sipping on that haterade.
Yeah.
Just have some fun.
Like as of Thursday at like 6:40, the Rotten Tomatoes score for critics is 54%, with an audience score of
94 or 96.
Yeah, went
so
up.
It's like
it went up.
Okay, wow. Okay, it's doubled that. So clearly, who's having a better time in the movies. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you can really nitpick the hell out of anything you find, but something like this that you said that's more so meant for kids and just having a good time, I think it's fine to go in, take your thinking cap off, and and just have fun. Just let the ride.
Your plumber cap off.
Yeah. Just let it ride. It's a fun roller coaster. So
that being all said, if you've seen the movie, stick around because we're gonna start getting into some spoilers. If you haven't, put this in your watch later. Go see the movie and come on back because here we go. First off, one of the big things I think was kind of cool and kind of jarring a little bit at first is like it takes place in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Like think of it as like a Mario family background here.
Yeah, they actually like kind of built out a backstory for Mario and Luigi, which I know Chris Pratt in an interview recently said that was one of the things they were going to do in this movie, because really the games haven't had any sort of canon background for Mario besides the fact that like, oh yeah, he's a plumber or whatever. But yeah, so they set him and Luigi in the real world in Brooklyn, which is kind of cool to see. And they have like a nice little TV commercial that plays at the beginning. Yeah.
Which, okay, so we open up to like the TV commercial playing, and they're in like a pizzeria, which it was Power Up Pizzeria, I think. Wait, no.
Punch Out
Punch Out. Yeah.
Punch Out Pizza.
Yeah. Punch Out. Something
Which
like
is like
that.
I think a reference to another game.
Somebody's in the background playing like the OG like Donkey Kong gang where you like you're playing like as Mario.
And who is that person playing the game in the background?
Mr. Yahoo! The original, the OG Charles.
Like Martinet or Martinet. Sorry, Charles.
If you're French or not, I don't know how to say your last name, but I was not expecting him to have a little like Wahoo cameo in this.
Yeah.
And he even does a little like pose too.
I know. I'm so glad they gave him his little time to shine.
Yeah.
It would have been really cool if he was actually cast as Mario's dad, but you know what? It's okay. We got him in there and that's what matters.
Yeah. And then it's kind of funny because then, we start with the commercial, we see the Yahoo kind of thing, and then we get some hulking mustachio guy with like the one kind of lens glass spike. Yeah. That's like, oh, you should have kept working for me, the Mario Brothers. And you're like, oh, wow. We're really getting some backstory on these boys.
Yeah. It was interesting because Mario and Luigi, the reason they have a TV commercial is they've started their own plumbing business and they broke away from this Spike dude, his job. So
yeah, like when people say like, oh, like it lacks story, like sure, the story is a little soft. I think also too the source material for Mario doesn't really doesn't really cater itself to have a really in-depth story. So the fact that like they start off being like, they broke away or like they quit this day job to start their own business, like they're a small business family, and then like their family isn't super supportive, so like, why'd you quit a steady job? And you're like, oh wow, okay, wow, this is kind of sad. I'm cheering for you, brothers.
Right, as somebody who we're trying to do our own thing here, right? In addition to our day jobs, related a lot to that.
Yeah.
And that's it's a lot of work that goes into it.
I hope you're proud of me, parents.
Yeah, Mom, Dad, I hope you're trying to make you do proud.
Because like the dad, they come home for family dinner, and the dad instantly is like, "Why did you quit your day job?" Blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh god. But we get a little cool introduction and a little elaboration on Mario's character. What food does he not like, Jake?
So, you would never guess it, but Mario is not a fan of mushrooms, which I didn't realize Mario and I had something in common. So, I'm a little bit slightly allergic to mushrooms, so I just like stay away from those. So, as soon as Mario was like, I don't like mushrooms, and was picking them out of his pasta, I was like, man after my own heart. Like,
which kind of fits for our costumes right now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Wait, this is a
I'll
costume?
take all the mushrooms.
This is what I wore to work today. I don't know.
Man, I'll tell you, I don't know where you work, but wearing a Jedi costume, wearing your D&D outfit, wearing your Mario, must be a lively place.
Rotating wardrobe, empty wallet, rotating wardrobe.
Oh yeah. So like I don't know, I feel like it starts off really well, really strong with kind of being like, here are the Mario Brothers, which also I was like, why did they give him a last name? Like if I'm Luigi, which I am Luigi, I'm like, why isn't that our family name? Like I don't know, like the Super Blank Brothers Plumbing.
Yeah, why is Mario gotta take the whole spotlight there?
I get it, like I know it's because it's the game and all that, but anyway,
yeah.
So we get the backstory on the Mario Brothers, and then we also get some backstory on Peach, Princess Peach. Like jumping ahead a little bit once we enter the Mushroom Kingdom,
which I guess we should talk about that first. Of the fact that Mario and Luigi live in the real world, Brooklyn, and then they stumble across a pipe that transports them to our world with the Mushroom Kingdom and Bowser's Place and all that in the Brooklyn sewers. They go there, and then that's where the adventure begins.
It's like deep
down in the ground, which they make a comment. They're like, no, nobody's been down here for a while. And I'm like, how did that pipe get there? And I think it's interesting to me that they sort of set up the story of Mario and Luigi are from this world versus just like having them already exist in whatever the world kingdom place is called. I thought that was an interesting choice.
Absolutely.
It was definitely made for interesting story, but I don't know. It would have been weird to see them, I guess, maybe already be there. I don't know.
No, I think that was very intentional from like a storytelling standpoint, because us as an audience, right? Unless you just drop us into that world, which I mean, I would say most people that are watching the movie are familiar with some type of Mario product. But like, I think it is kind of a cool story narrative to be like, okay, cool. They're real people living in Brooklyn, New York, that then stumble upon like the magical, I don't know, we'll just call it Mario World, right? Like, because you have all the different lands and stuff. I think it is kind of a cool thing for them to, for the first time, go in there, and then us as this, I feel like Michael Jackson right now, us to like get in there and like learn with him and like learn like the rules of like the Mushroom Kingdom and stuff. Like I thought that was a interesting but also like very necessary kind of narrative choice.
Yeah, and so going back to what you were saying earlier, so yeah, we find out that Peach is from Earth or
somewhere else in the galaxy.
Mario and Luigi's world, basically, or potentially another place. But it hinted out that she's human also. So, and like she doesn't know her story, and that's basically all we get from her on that. Which I mean is more than can be said for Bowser. They didn't give him any sort of like backstory. Which, not saying that we necessarily need a villain origin story to make him make sense, because he's just bad, and that's he wants to marry Peach and take over the world and all that. But I think I would have liked to see maybe a little baby Bowser, like where he was coming from, and just see what really drives him. Like, I know we're saying that like this movie really isn't, that Christopher Nolan level, like just emotionally deep psychological thriller kind of, but I don't know, just a little bit motivation for Bowser besides just him being a horn dog for Peach.
Could you imagine Christopher Nolan level Mario movie? Like,
I am now, and I'm actually kind of excited.
Like, that'd be hilarious. I mean, like hilarious in like the ironic way, but then like I could totally see everybody watching being like, whoa. Like, whoa. I don't know.
Whoa.
Let's talk about like the use of like power-ups. Like, I think that's really cool that from my take of it, right, watching it, how, Peach is like, all right, I'll take you with me if you can finish the obstacle course, which was really cool. Shout out to like the OG platformer and stuff, and like all the different elements of like the bullets and like the plants and even the bricks and all, just all of it. But I like how he tries to do it, he fails. Peach is like, oh, like how do you do this? And Peach is like, oh, like we use the power up. And that's when, you see him shove down the marshmallow, the mushroom, and like then he like grows and stuff. And I don't know, that was a cool use of introducing the idea of power ups and how they can kind of organically work in like a story like this compared to just being, oh, I use the power up to defeat the level. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought how they translated that to the film was really well done. And early on, there's like a scene when Mario and Luigi are still in Brooklyn where they're literally having to kind of platform, and it's kind of that side scroller.
Oh, yeah.
It literally looked like it's just taken from a Mario game, and I had a big smile across my face that whole scene. But then to that training sequence that you were talking about, I thought that was really cool to see, Mario stumble, because obviously he's like never done that before, and Peach has been raised in this world, and so she's a pro. But I thought that was really cool, especially seeing him power up and become a little bigger and stuff. Mario, our short king over here, get to be a little taller, so that was cool. I really enjoyed that. Any sort of like video game-ism kind of scene in this movie was a winner for me.
Yeah. So then, like, moving on to like the next set of characters that were introduced. Well, let's back it up. We're first introduced to like the hordes of toads, which are so damn adorable. I love every single one of them, and I especially love like the Toad, played by Michael Key. Michael Key. I always mess it up. Sorry, my guy. But like, so he's like, at first you're like, oh, he's just the normal Toad we're used to, like, oh, all that, and then you learn that like, oh no, he's just the only brave Toad out there.
He's got his like a little adventuring pack and his frying pan, and I love how he whips his frying pan out every now and then for like battle.
Yeah, and like how like then when Peach and Mario go to like try to get the Kongs to allow their Kong army to come fight against Bowser with them, and he pops up and he's like, I'm coming with you. She's like, well, any Toad brave enough to come with us can come along. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess any Toad could have come with her if she was, brave enough.
I was gonna say that's a pretty low bar there for the Toads. So.
That's why I was like, I love that line where it's like, what are we gonna do? We're too adorable. Freaking adorable. Like, damn, that's good. That's good. But okay, so moving on then to like the Kongs. This is probably the most exciting part of the movie that I was looking forward to. Where I was like, so growing up, I had the Diddy Kong, game with like the bongos. Like I had like Diddy Kong Racing on my DS. I just love Donkey Kong. He was always the one I would choose to like play in Mario Kart. Still to this day is. Maybe he's a slower one, but I don't care. I love Donkey Kong. So I was like, let's go. I thought this was awesome. I thought Seth Rogen's like portrayal, voice acting for like Donkey Kong was like, I was afraid it would take me a little out of it, especially since they left his laugh in that or whatever it is. That's not a good impression.
Yeah, Seth Rogen even in an interview also said he's like, I don't do voices. Like I'm going to read this just in my voice. So you can take it or leave it. So like the directors and stuff were like, yeah, that's fine. So it literally is like Seth Rogen, Donkey Kong, which honestly is great.
Yeah, it works.
Makes the movie.
It works. So actually, let's put a pin in the Kongs for a little bit. Let's just talk about the voice acting in general.
Yeah, I mean, we have to talk about, because before this movie, when this movie was announced, and it was announced that Chris Pratt was going to be Mario, there was a lot of backlash of like, oh wow, you're
the Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Right. And like, yeah, those first trailer, it was like,
Which, by the way,
okay.
he doesn't say that in the movie.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
No, that was just for the trailer.
Some ADR for that. But yeah, he honestly, I didn't think his voice acting was this bad, like was as cringy as people were like fearful it was going to be. I think it worked really well, and I don't think like it just they explained it well that he's just, you know, he's got a slight like Brooklyn accent, even if you want to call it that. But he doesn't talk that's a me all the time. Like there's a couple moments where he's like Mamma Mia.
Moments. They do say Mamma Mia.
I mean, they say Mamma Mia a lot,
yeah.
but like it's, you know,
but they don't really like tune up like the very like campy kind of stereotypical like Italian talk in it, which I appreciate.
Yeah, exactly, because then that can kind of get close to some appropriating kind of lines, and you're like, oh, let's just steer clear. So I think he did a pretty good job. Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny as Luigi also nailed it, as just he was born to play this role, this kind of manic, just anxious guy. Like I loved it. Honestly, for me though, the standout was Jack Black as Bowser. And especially because when he has a couple songs that he sings, and knowing Jack Black with Tenacious D and just him just like riffing and like doing like a love song ballad, and I'm like,
peaches,
I fucking love it.
Peaches.
It was amazing. I wanted more of it. And honestly, I also was reading another thing today that Jack Black was initially, he was like, I don't know if I want to sing in it, but then he was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. Like, screw it. So it was really nice to see that in there.
Yeah. And then I love like how the mid-credit scene, after they defeat him, they shrink him down, and then we can like see that scene where he's like playing the piano again, and then they pan out and he's like still tiny. And I was like, oh, they missed an opportunity where I wish like mid-song they panned out and we got like the high squeaky tiny Bowser voice playing like the reprise of the song. Yeah,
the chipmunk kind of voice, like yeah.
But yeah, if you're worried, I mean, if you watched this far, you know the movie, you've seen the movie, but like the voice acting was good. It didn't take me out of it. Like there was little moments where like I think Chris Pratt's accent was just a little too thick, but like it's just kind of like normal talking. You know, it's just kind of like when I like the mumbles come on too thick with Aaron, you can't understand what the hell I'm saying. Like it was kind of the same thing I thought with Chris. Keep on saying Pine, Chris Pratt. Too many Chris's. Chris Evan, Chris Pine, Chris Pratt,
Chris Christopherson,
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, yeah. I mean, we did admit, yeah. But so going back to story wise, when they go to the Donkey Kong world, this was my favorite part of the movie, because then we get our Mario Kart little sequence. And so being a film fan, I am such a sucker for a good like suit up scene / let's get all our gear ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, Batman and Robin is just a horrible film, but I grew up on Batman. Like I love Batman, but God, do I love it when they're just like putting their suits on. It's ridiculous and out there, but like any sort of like just like let's grab our gear. All the John Wick films when he's, you know, grabbing his guns and loading up, sucker for it. So in this movie, we got that, but with a Mario Kart scene, and they got to build their karts. Very traditional to, you know, the games. Mario's got his actual cart, and then Peach has like a motorcycle. Toad rolls up with this giant monster truck with his pimp shades on, just like blasting some music and just like, what's up? And then Donkey Kong, of course, got his like cool, you know, kind of off-road style cart with like 2 giant like rocket boosters on it. So rad. I loved it so much, and it was neat to see them like select it, because even how they select it is how you do it in the game, you know, just like cycling through.
I liked how when they're like, you know, spinning the wheels, the select. I feel like I can't. Like the select the wheels. We'll get there, right? Like get into like the which you know, kind of cart wheels, you know, glider they want. I like how it's like some Kong guy in the back that puts his goggles on and is like, let's ride. Like he's the one that's like assembling the car as they're selecting it. I was like, that's cool. I like that.
There's a lot of cool things in life, but I don't know. Put a monkey putting sunglasses on gets me every time.
Like I was just like, I want to be that. That'd be a cool job. And like how he takes it seriously, just, you know, puts them on, little head nod, grabs the handles, let's go.
Yeah, builds more carts for them in like record time. It's great.
But yeah, kind of alluding to what I was pointing out there. They hit almost every power up, from Peach using like I'm totally blanking on what the actual thing's called, but like the ice flower or cold flower, whatever it's called. Sorry, diehard gamers. In her bouquet, to like freeze Bowser, to like fire flower, to like, you know, the star, to growing mushrooms, shrinking mushrooms, all that. And then we get the cat suit and the Tanuki suit.
Oh.
And like we saw the Tanuki in one of the trailers, so we knew that was coming, but I didn't expect the cat suit.
Yeah, the Katsu was a nice.
Yeah.
Like when Mario's fighting Donkey Kong in Kong Island to like try to get them to help out, and he uses his like little claws to like scratch in Donkey Kong and like hit him around and stuff. So great.
Yeah. And like, I just once again, just going back to Seth Rogen's portrayal of Donkey Kong, it's just great. Like he just, I don't know, he just has that voice of just kind of that like jaded son kind of vibe, you know?
Because he totally comes across as this like showboaty, like, oh, look at me doing my monkey pecs dance, you know?
I'm just trying to get my dad's attention.
But then really, it's all to try to get his dad's approval, which I'm like, ooh, family trauma, there you go. There it is. It's like him and Mario then discover they both have that, you know? Because Mario's trying to also get his family's approval, so.
I think this is a little earlier in the movie than we're at currently, if we're at a spot in the movie. But one of the standout performances, hands down, is the nihilistic blue star that's imprisoned with Luigi and the penguins and like then later the Kongs.
Yeah.
the only sweet you can only wait for the sweet relief of death. Oh, we're already depressed. Like,
yeah. So we mentioned that this movie is really geared for kids. It's like a kids movie through and through. But this character, I think, was thrown in for the adult. You know how Pixar, like most Pixar movies, you know, they're kind of guised as a kids movie, but really it's also telling a really heartfelt story and stuff. This movie, kids movie, but this character for the adults, because this nihilistic blue star is just like, we're all gonna die, and like that's fine. And I'm here for it. I thought it was enjoyable and funny.
And when they get saved, and it's like,
yeah, as they're like putting them down into the lava, the blue star's like, yay, death! And then as soon as they get saved by Donkey Kong, blue star's like, oh, damn. Like, doesn't curse, but get the point.
But going back to where we were, I think from the trailers, you know, obviously we saw it, but I think one of the most exciting parts of the movie that everybody's looking forward to was the Rainbow Road like car sequence.
And it looked so good.
It did. It was awesome.
It was so neat to just see them all together and like the different speeds and
like there was multiple times where Mario was drifting, and like in the game, like when you get to a certain drift point, then like the turbos kick in.
Yep.
We saw that, like he did that drifting to like get off like the one section of the road to get to the other section of the road. I was like, oh yeah. And then
so cool.
We get the origin of the blue shell.
Yeah. And it was cool because then as soon as Bowser's forces attack them, right, then we get to see all the shells happen. So it's like, ooh, yep, played this.
So many of these moments in
all. Yeah.
Going back to what we said earlier, like to all like the critics and the haters, like don't let them deter you. It's a fun time. Like it may not be, you know, Oscar worthy, you know, animated film of the year kind of movie, but it's fun. Whether you're, you know, 5 or 95, like you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna have fun with this. Like, so go out, support your local theaters, and go see the movie because you'll laugh and smile the whole time.
Yeah. The only thing I think in this movie that kind of sucked was obviously like Luigi is a prisoner for most of it, so it's like he didn't get a lot of time to kind of shine with Mario. Like we got a little bit in the beginning and kind of a little at the end, but you know he definitely was kind of like Hawkeyed in the Avengers, where it was just like, oh damn, like we're not actually get to fully explore his character. But I will say that end scene where they both get the superstar and like invincibility and just beating the shit out of Bowser together was worth it. It was good. I
also think I wish we got just a little bit longer with him when he goes into like that castle, like a lot of like nods of the hat to like Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah,
so I remember playing the first one back in the day. I loved that game on the GameCube there, and you know he's running away from all the dry bones, which I like. You know that makes sense. Those would be scary as hell. And then he gets into the castle, and you're like, oh, we're gonna see like any type of booze or anything like that. And the lightning hits, and we see like the Shy Guys, which like creepy and scary as hell. But I wish we would have lingered. Like it's only an hour 30, right? Just linger with Luigi just a little bit. Let him explore. You know, let's like try to see him try to conquer that fear. Just not instantly gets nerfed.
Because it's like implied in not implied. It's also stated in like scenes that Luigi counts on Mario a lot to like help him through, and like we see a scene when they're babies, basically children, and Luigi's being bullied, and then Mario comes and saves him. So like Mario's definitely kind of the protective older brother or same age brother. I can't remember, but
I think he's a little older.
Okay,
it says a little brother a couple times.
Okay, gotcha. So like I would have liked to have seen Luigi come into his own, or just like held up a little bit more on his own. But hey, maybe that's a chance for the next movie.
Yeah. Oh, good little segue there.
Thank you.
Because I know Chris, I almost said Pine again, son of a gun. Chris Pratt Chris Pratt.
Too many Chris's.
So many Chris's.
And they're also good looking, damn it.
I don't want to get into that. It makes me mad every time.
We should do a video ranking the Chris's.
Let us know in the comments. Would you like us to do a video of ranking all the infamous celebrity Chris's?
Yeah.
You know what?
We can do it.
If enough of you say yes, then we might.
Give me into the Chris verse, you know? Like, be great.
But I know Chris Pratt had said that, I'm going to say it again, that, I forget what interview it was, but he's like, oh, you can definitely expect a lot of Mario movies coming in the future. And I'll admit, after this movie, I wouldn't mind that.
Oh, yeah. Well, and just knowing that this movie was made by Illumination, the same studio that did all the Minions movies, how much, like, they've milked the shit out of that franchise, right? They have so many Despicable Me and Minions movies that they could easily have this thing be a huge franchise, which I would want to see, because just think of, like, we could do a Luigi's Mansion movie. We could do, I think, having a Super Smash Bros. Kind of style, like, fight tournament movie. You could introduce a lot more characters, and because they're partnering with Nintendo, I'm wondering, what does that extend to? Because granted, Super Smash Bros. Has a lot of, like, other IP, you got Pokemon in there, there's some other video game characters, but, like, you could easily pull from the Nintendo, like, library to, and they've kind of already, alluded to the fact that, like, well, this is a big galaxy or world, and, like, maybe there's some sort of multiverse kind of thing that a tube could go to another Nintendo game or something. We could get Zelda and Link, show up.
I was gonna,
that would be cool.
So, like, I don't think it's gonna be related to Mario at all, but I know there has been whispers about, like, maybe it's not actual whispers, maybe it's just, like, fans wanting it, but I know, like, there is talks of, like,
I'm gonna whisper it into existence. We want this. Miyamoto, Nintendo, listen, do it. Let's go!
But, like, how, like, people are, like, wanting, like, a Link, Legend of Zelda movie. So, like, I'm totally cool. I don't think every, story or video game adaptation needs to be live action. I think making it into, like, an animated, like, sit down movie or show is also the way to go. So, yeah, I would love to see, like, a Link Legend of Zelda movie coming out. But
could you imagine, like, I mean, just look at what they're doing with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Like, that movie was incredible and, like, did so many cool things. Like, you could have different kind of animation styles for all these different properties. Like, I'd be so here for it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, literally with Mario, you could go anywhere. And then at the end, we get a post-credit scene that teases Yoshi. That was horrible, sorry. But, yeah. But,
that's actually pretty good.
I love Yoshi. He's one of my favorite characters. Yes, pretty good. Oh, yeah.
Man, that's okay. But yeah, Yoshi, a little egg pops up in the end. We do get that herd of Yoshis running at one point. That kind of like this little cool turnaround, looks back.
Yeah, the one that turns around and looks at them, and I'm like, ooh! I was kind of hoping that, like, they were gonna pop up to help with, like, whatever the end battle was gonna be, and to, like, see Mario ride them or something. Yeah. But that's okay. We'll save that for a sequel.
Yeah, no, like, I think going into what you're saying is, I do think, like, that was a kind of a, not a cap there to, like, we have plans. We know. We see you, fans. Because Yoshi is hands down one of the most beloved characters amongst, the characters that we saw in this movie. So yeah. Any final thoughts you want to wrap up here with?
I think it's a fun 90-minute movie that you'll enjoy. Don't have to think too hard about. If you loved Mario games growing up / still play them, then go see it. It's worth your time.
Absolutely, man. Like, we're at a point in, like, film and TV history where we're just getting good stuff. We're getting bad stuff too, but we're getting good stuff.
Man, and what a great year for video game adaptations.
Yeah.
We got Last of Us, which is completely its own thing. And then we got this, like, just killing it.
Yeah, so far killing it.
What a time to be alive, people.
Just to echo what you said, it's fun. It's worth your money. It's, honestly, probably we'll go see it again. If not, we'll probably buy it because it just put a smile on your face that, like, I think a lot of movies just haven't been really hitting with me recently. So go out, go see the movie. It's worth your time. But in the meantime, we have plenty of videos. Well, plenty. We have a handful of videos out there that we'd love for you guys to watch and engage with. Comments are welcomed. We, love the feedback. We're just kind of still starting off here. So let us know. What do you like? What do you don't like? What could we do better? All that stuff. Just don't leave a dislike. If you're going to leave a dislike, tell us. We
Mamma mia!
We welcome the constructive criticism, guys. We welcome it. So lay it on us hard. Till next time, though, I've been Aaron.
I've been Jake. Let's go!